What is up, guys? Happy Friday. I just wanted to wish you guys a happy Friday, first of all, and I wanted to give you guys some tips on what to do once you're starting to remember dreams, because as we know, that is the first step to becoming lucid. We need to remember our dreams in order to remember lucid dreams or even have lucid dreams. So it's essential for our practice to have a dream journal. So if you don't have one already, I would recommend getting one and using it every single day. A lot of people think that they just use their dream journal when they remember a dream, but we actually have to use it every single morning because we have to create that consistent habit and show our brain it is a priority to remember our dreams and really pay attention to even when you don't remember your dreams. That's just as essential in our dream journal as it is to write our dreams down. We have to write down when we don't remember any dreams either. Hey Karen, how's it going? So it's important to write down your dreams, but also write down when you didn't remember any dreams. That is a very important part. And you can just write that. Just write the date and the time, and then just write, I didn't remember any dreams tonight. And just make sure that you do that every single day, even if you missed it in the morning to write down that you didn't remember any dreams. Go back later when you can and just put the date and write that down, and I promise you, you'll see a huge difference in your dream practice. And then once you're there, then you can start getting into the fun stuff. So once you remember your dreams, that's good to go, and then you can start moving on to the really fun stuff. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. So I hope all of you in here have a dream journal so far. If not, just grab a random notebook. Hey Deborah, how's it going? Sue, Matt. So once you have your dream journal, there's at least a week's worth of dreams in there, and I'd prefer that it's like at least one dream a night if possible, but you don't have to be remembering every dream every night, but it will get there. So as long as you're remembering dreams pretty consistently, that's the point you want to be at. And then once you have your dream journal, you're not just going to write your dreams in it, you're actually going to use it a lot and look through it. So I do this a lot, sometimes before bed, because it gets me in the mode of thinking about dreams and thinking about my dream content. And if I just read through my dream journal before I went to bed and I ran into one of those things again in my dream, I'd most likely realize it was a dream because I was just practicing awareness of my dream content by reading through my dream journal. So I hope that makes sense. So once you have about a week or so of dreams, you're just going to read through it, and you're going to look for anything that is reoccurring. So is it like a person, a place, a conversation, a smell, a feeling, an emotion, an object? It could really be anything. You just want to look for something that is reoccurring. Hey Krista, thank you so much for joining. So sorry, I got distracted. My computer froze for half a second. So look for at least one or two things that are reoccurring. And you're going to write that at the top of your most recent dream journal page. And the reason why we do that is because if there is something that is reoccurring in our dreams and we build an awareness around it and we learn to do reality checks and critical thinking when we run into those checks in waking life, we're going to do that in the dream. So for example, I dream that I am in high school maybe 50% of the time. So in waking life, anytime I see a high school, hear about a high school, get reminded of a high school, have to go into a high school, anything related to a high school, I will check if I am dreaming, because then I'll start doing that into the dream anytime I encounter a high school. So as you guys can see, it's all about building that awareness around a specific dream sign. So, and again, it can be really anything, but really all it takes is awareness and building that critical thinking, because when we go into the lucid dream, the prefrontal cortex part of the brain is turned off, which is our sense of self, which means if we dreamt that we were the Queen of Egypt, we would actually believe it and not realize we were dreaming. But once we can carry that awareness and critical thinking into the dream, then our prefrontal cortex part of the brain switches back on, which is our sense of self and our awareness. And then when that happens, you're like, wait, this isn't right. This must be a dream. And that's exactly what we want to create. And I mean, we sleep for a third of our lives, so that's roughly 33 years spent asleep. What could you do with 33 more years of your life? And you're in direct contact with your subconscious, which controls 95% of our brain. We only use 5% of our brain when we are awake. So when we go into the lucid dream, we have access to 95% more information than we had before. So technically, I feel like that means we're utilizing 100% of our brain, right? Because we use 5% when we're awake and then 95% when we're going into sleep. And it can be extremely transformative. For anyone who doesn't know, you can use the placebo effect, which means you can actually heal yourself in the dream. I know this firsthand because I was able to heal my stomach issues that the doctor said were incurable. And it was amazing. And it's all from the placebo effect and neuroplasticity and being able to rewire our brain. It's down to a science. And I don't know if you guys saw the documentary I posted, but it was how to heal, grow, and something else from Lucid Dreaming. Learn, heal, and grow. So we can actually learn in the lucid dream because our brain is still active in the lucid dream. In REM sleep, our brain waves are actually more active than when we're awake, so our brain is still learning. So if you practice a skill within the lucid dream, and since in the lucid dream everything is 7 to 9 times more powerful than in the waking state, you'll learn skills a lot faster. I actually had a client who was practicing yoga techniques and yoga moves in her lucid dream. She wanted to do a handstand without holding on to anything. And so she only practiced this in her lucid dream. Keep in mind, she was doing a test. She only practiced this in her lucid dream. And she practiced it for about 30 days, I think. And when she woke up on the 30th day, she practiced it in real life. And she said it already feels like she did it before. And she was able to hold it for 10 seconds without touching it. That's crazy. For your first time doing that, that's nuts. So you can really learn anything, even like creative ideas. You can talk to your subconscious, get insight, clarity. Like you can find out what you're meant to do with your life, because consciously with that 5%, we might not know what we want to do with our life, but subconsciously we know. You know, that's what the Akashic records bring out as well. That's everything in our timeline that we've ever experienced, past, future, or present. And so we can access this information in the lucid dream the same way. And it's really interesting because it is a 3D reality space, and you're in first person experiencing this crazy reality created just by your mind that you can connect to every single night. And it's not just having fun, you know, it totally can be. Some dreams you just want to go and fly up in the air, go on the moon, talk to like whoever you like, whatever you want to. I've manifested Einstein before because I'm really interested in physics and I wanted to have a conversation about him. And even though that was a projection in my own mind of Einstein, my perception of him, the dream creates him how you think or assume that he would be. And so it was really interesting. You can really talk to people you look up to and actually get more information than you knew before. A lot of people have done this with their jobs, for example. So are you wanting to leave a job? Do you crave to do something bigger with your life, but you don't know what it is? You know you're meant for something, but you can't quite grasp what it is. Well, I can tell you that if you moved your conscious mind out of the way and opened your subconscious mind, all of that would be able to be revealed to you a lot easier. I had a client she was quitting her job. She had no idea what she wanted to do. And she decided to go into the lucid dream and ask what she was meant to do with her life. And this was a really interesting experiment. So she got into the lucid dream and she called out to the sky, because the sky represents your subconscious. Dream characters actually represent archetypes within yourself. So your anxieties, things you love, your passions, your fears, that's what the dream characters represent. So she called out to the sky, which is basically our higher self. And she asked, show me what I'm meant to do with my life, just straight up like that. And the dream changed into, she was in a classroom teaching young children. And you're in this 3D space, right? So you're actually able to experience it. And she's like, it felt so right. I've never done it before, but I was actually first person in this 3D reality that I could interact with. And I was teaching these children and it felt so real and it felt so right. And she actually just got a notification from her friend the day before that she had a position opening for a teacher, which was really crazy. So she applied for it. She went back and went into the lucid dream and asked her, hey, am I going to get this job? Is this teaching job for me? Am I going to get this job? And she looked up and it was a night sky and the stars spelled out yes, Y-E-S. And I get cold chills telling this story. And when she woke up, she went to the interview. And she really felt it. She really felt it. And they were like, sorry, we already closed the position, but we actually have an opening down the street at our other school that we're hosting. And so she got the job there. They just hired her there. And she said it actually looked like the building that she would be teaching in, which was really interesting. It was crazy. She actually sent me pictures of all of this because it was just like the craziest thing ever. And so there is something called the 1%. So within the lucid dream, 99% of the things we experience are us, but 1% is intelligent information. This is how we can have visitations from loved ones, and we can get intelligent information that we didn't know before, even though a lot of that does come from our subconscious mind. But the lucid dream is very powerful for that. And then if you're wanting to travel outside of yourself, then you'd want to go to an out-of-body experience, which is also extremely interesting and very similar to the state, but so different at the same time. But you actually, once you learn lucid dreaming, I tend to have random out-of-body experiences because a lot of the fundamentals of both of them are the same on how to induce them. So you can kind of learn them spontaneously, like together. And once you learn how to induce sleep paralysis and control the vibrational state, that's basically like a gateway to an easy lucid dream, a waking lucid dream, or a full-blown conscious out-of-body experience. Because it's really up to you once you get in sleep paralysis. You can focus on the hypnagogic imagery, so all the colors you're seeing in front of you, and create the dream very realistically in your visual imagination until you create that dream, because the hypnagogia is the dream creating content. That's why you'll see random images, random thoughts, and the colors being created. So if you can influence that by intent and a really strong visualization, you can have a waking lucid dream from sleep paralysis. And if you wanted to have an out-of-body experience, then you would just imagine visualizing getting out of your body in any way that you can, whether it's standing on the other side of the room, rolling out of your body, floating above your body, walking outside, doing the dishes, just something where your body's not physically at, and create the visualization and sensation so real for your brain, because as we know, the brain cannot tell the difference between imagination and a waking experience. So we can actually use that to our advantage in these altered states of consciousness. So if you guys have any questions about the lucid dreaming practice, or any questions about your out-of-body practice, definitely let me know, because we deserve to reach these states every single night. And I have someone that I'm working with that hasn't remembered dreams in like 6 years, and he's starting to lucid dream, and he has really strong PTSD that he's just ready to let go of. And it's really, really helped, which is really amazing, because you can actually access those painful memories and at least release the emotional attachment to it. And so when you wake up, it just feels like another memory, so it doesn't trigger any trauma or anything like that. So it can be really, really powerful for anybody. They're even doing a study with lucid dreaming for veterans of PTSD, so it really can help to that extent. Like even with nicotine addiction, like we talked about, recurring nightmares, anxiety, depression, insomnia, even eating disorders, which is crazy. Even weight loss. I know I've told you guys that, but if there's anyone who doesn't know, it can help with weight loss, because your brain can't tell if you're imagining something or it's actually happening. So if you go into the lucid dream, for example, and eat your favorite sweets like chocolate cake or something, and you do that in the lucid dream, it's like a very vivid reality, and your brain actually thinks it's happening. So when you wake up, you're not going to have a sweet tooth, and you're going to wake up full. And so it can be really, really powerful. You just we're sleeping anyways, you guys. Like, we're sleeping anyway, so we might as well experience this beautiful gift that we have. I mean, take back a third of your life, take back that 33 years that were spent just sleeping. Like, it really, really is amazing. So definitely let me know where you guys are at with your practice, how your dreams have been, how consistent have they been? Have you got lucid? I got lucid this morning, but not a lot happened. Like, sometimes when I get lucid, I'm just like super chill about it, and I don't like, oh my gosh, what should I do? What should I do? I'm just like super observant and like chill for some reason. Sometimes I can't control that. I don't know why, but sometimes you'll start to have lucid dreams like that, where you'll, like, for example, someone will be chasing you or something, and then you'll just be like, well, I know I can't get hurt because I'm dreaming, or I could just fly away. Like, you have that knowing that you're dreaming, but you don't act on anything. You just kind of chill. I've been having a couple of those. So you'll start to get to that point once you start writing in your journal and you start tracking your dream signs. So definitely look for your dream sign. That's the next thing we want to work on. And then let me know what your dream sign is. Have you already discovered your dream sign? As we talked about, dream sign is something that reoccurs in your dreams that only usually happens in your dreams. So it's a clear sign that you are dreaming. Again, this could be a person, a place, a thing, an object, a feeling, an emotion, an image, a sensation, a smell, like really anything that you seem to experience over and over in the dream. You want to take a note of that. And then we are going to use that as our trigger to get lucid. So anytime you run into anything related to that dream sign in waking life, you're going to do a reality check. The easiest one I'd recommend is just trying to push your finger through your palm, because obviously if you're awake, it's not going to go through. But if you create a habit of doing this throughout the day, you're going to create a habit of doing this while you're dreaming, and it's actually just going to go through and you'll realize you're dreaming. And this will help you gain full conscious awareness in the dream and just full control over the dream. And as soon as you get in the dream, don't freak out, don't get too excited, because our physical senses could take over and wake us up out of the experience. So we actually want to focus on our dreaming senses. So what can you see? What can you hear? What can you smell in the dream? What can you touch? How vivid does everything look? Really engage with your dreaming senses once you get lucid, and that will basically ground you and stabilize you into the experience. Because if we're super excited, or even like nightmares, if there's too strong of an emotion, then it will easily wake you up out of the experience. So we want to learn to stabilize the dream as soon as we get in it, and kind of observe what's around us before we interact with it. So I hope that makes sense. Soon we're going to be going into a lot of techniques that I have for you guys. It's going to be really, really interesting. So stay tuned for that, and let me know what your guys' dream signs are, and if you have trouble with reality checks, or where you're at with reality checks, and we'll start talking about that. I'm going to make a couple more videos on that soon. The next video on YouTube that I'm doing is a review for Lucidesk, so stay tuned for that. It's an awesome supplement that will really enhance your dreaming practice, and it will be really, really amazing. So thank you guys so much for joining. I love you all. I hope these tips helped, and I hope you have an amazing Friday. So thank you all, and with love and lucidity.